Dear students of English Literature, class 12, today our topic in this lecture 3 English version lecture students is the poem From the Passing of Arthur, that is composed by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Students, I would like to give you a little or a brief background of the poem. King Arthur was the king of the time of Round Table. Students, Round Table was a system in which the king has his so many powerful subordinates, and they used to sit on the round table to discuss and serve the country. Now, students, when there was an attack on the kingdom of the King Arthur, on his one loyal knight Bedivere was left, and others were killed. And the King Arthur had to leave his kingdom. And when he was leaving, his loyal knight Bedivere was requesting the king to go with him, but the king refused to let him do this. But the king did not allow him to do this, and to make him understand, the king says, now you see in this poem, in this lecture 3. In the students, in lecture 2, you came to know that he was making the king, the knight Bedivere, the importance of prayer. Now let's see what the king says further. Students, in this second part of the poem, you will understand what the king says. The king was saying, pray for my soul. Hey, Bedivere, you pray for my soul, because pray for my soul through prayer, because this prayer is very powerful and it can do a lot beyond the dreams of man. So let thy voice rise like a fountain. Means let thy voice rise means you continue to pray for me as the fountain works night and day. For what are men better than sheep and goats? Students, here the king gives an example that men are better than sheep or goats. Uh, why man is better than sheep and goats? Because man has mind and wisdom that nourish a blind life within the brain, but the men who are living aimlessly, who are not praying, that nourish a blind life within the brain, and even keeping brains or wisdom or mind with them, if knowing God and they knows that there is the existence of God, they lift not hands of prayer. These people do not lift hands for prayer, and they don't do prayers both for themselves and those who call them friend. Means, in spite of being human beings, in spite of having a good mind and wisdom and power of reasoning, that people who don't raise their hands for prayer, they are not better than the animals. They are like animals, and they are sheep and goats, because they are nourishing, they are living a blind life and life of ignorance. For the whole round earth, for the whole round earth is every way bound by gold chains. Students, about the feet of God means gold chains. In this line there is a metaphor, and these gold chains are the source to get connected with God. Here in these lines, student, the poet says, this whole earth is every way bound by gold chains. Student, these gold chains are prayer. About the feet of God means these prayer are just like the golden chain which connect us to God. Because students, man is considered to be a very petty thing. That's why God, according to the poet, has connected man with his feet. But now farewell, and in the end, the King Arthur bids him farewell. Student, we would like to repeat this stanza again. When Bedivere, the loyal knight of the King Arthur, requests the king to go with him, at this time the King Arthur tries to make him understand and requests him to do more prayer for him and to pray God so that his sins might be purified. And he said, you must continue, raise your voice like fountain, means you should continue to pray for me like a fountain. Students, here simile figure of speech is used beautifully. And you should pray for me night and day, as the fountain works night and day without any tiredness. And the persons, for what are men better than sheep and goats, that nourish a blind life within the brain, if knowing God. Students, let's begin from here. If a person knows there is the existence of God, even after this, they don't lift their hands for prayer, they are living a blind life in spite of having their brains and mind, and they are not better than animals. Student, that's why when a man is a man really, and he doesn't want to be compared with animals, he should raise his hands for prayer, and he should know the value of prayer, and prayer is the best service for anybody whom he loves. So both for themselves, a man, for both for themselves, for himself, and for those who call them friend, means for himself and for his friends, he should pray all the time, because prayer is the only source that connects the feet of God, means for so the whole round earth is every way bound by gold chains. Student, these gold chains are the prayers, because this prayer connects man to the God, and this is the only source to connect man with God. And after making Bedouin understand, students, the King Arthur bids farewell, and he leaves for the island of Avilion with his three queens in the barge. Students, that's all of the poem. I hope you have understood this poem very well, and now you will feel very easy to write explanation, reference, and the context of the poem. Thanks.